All right. May the 4th be with you, everybody. Let's talk about Star Wars, I guess.
Talk about Star Wars!
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another video. It is now May 4th, Star Wars Day, and I have not celebrated a Star Wars Day in quite some time. And I thought today I'd watch a bunch of the movies. That's it. A bunch of the movies. And, catch up on some Star Wars because I am still a Star Wars fan. Despite me not liking a lot of the current things going on with Star Wars because of Disney. But I thought I would kick back today and watch some Star Wars movies. But before I do that, I'm going to do this video about talking about what I think the best and worst thing about each of the films. All of the theatrical released films, so no holiday special in this. So, yep. And when I mean best and worst thing, it could be anything. It could be the script. It could be a character or a scene or whatever it is. It's whatever I think the worst and best thing are for each of the films. Some films, it's going to be very difficult to find some bad things, and vice versa. Some films are going to be hard to find some good things, but I'll try my best. But here we go. The best and worst thing, in my opinion, in every single Star Wars movie. We're going to go in proper order, so we're going to start with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. First movie I ever saw in theaters as a kid. Always loved it. I'm always a defender on it. It is a average movie, but I love it because it's just childhood for me. The best thing in the movie, I think everyone can agree on, is the final fight between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Darth Maul. It is a great scene. It is like the first legit badass lightsaber duel we ever got to see, because we get to see flips and force wielding and a double-edged red lightsaber. Darth Maul, of course, being the best character ever. And we get an amazing John Williams score, Duel of the Fates, and everything about this fight scene is amazing. It's just well choreographed, but just little hints here and there about how Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon team up in their Jedi fighting. It's just so cool. But of course, my favorite moment in the fight is when the red lasers block the three of them. And I love it because it's very quiet in its visual storytelling. Throughout this scene, you know who the bad guy is, who the master is, and who the Padawan is, just through their emotions and how they're reacting. Darth Maul is pacing and looking angry, and he's just ready to fight. Qui-Gon's meditating, and he's keeping calm, and Obi-Wan looks pretty nervous. And it's a really well done scene, and this is a very well directed scene by Mr. George Lucas, and it is legit one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, actually, is the Duel of the Fates triple fight scene. And it ends really great, and it's just really well choreographed, and I just absolutely adore it. What else would it be? The worst is also very obvious as well. It's Jar Jar Binks.
Come on, R2.
Okay, I know the actor got a lot of flag for it, and I don't think you should attack any of the actors if they're portraying a character, a fictional character. It doesn't matter. But the character is annoying. He is terrible. He has terrible jokes. He's literally just used to bring Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to the Gungan City. That's really it. He is absolutely useless in the film. He is there to be the funny comic relief to entertain the children. But even me as a kid, I thought he was annoying, and I just needed him to shut the fuck up. So, Jar Jar Binks is easily the worst thing in the Phantom Menace. Alright, now we're getting to Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones has a lot of great and also a lot of bad. It is a very mixed bag movie. The best is just Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the best character and the best actor portrayal. Ewan McGregor plays him so well. He's so good. And the whole story of Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones is great. He's investigating this bounty hunter and looking into corruption and the clone army and all that. He's investigating Count Dooku. All of that is interesting. It's really good. Ewan McGregor is really good. That's literally the best part of the movie, is every scene with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi is literally the best part and the best thing about Attack of the Clones. And the worst thing is the other half of the movie, which is the romance. The romance between Anakin and Padme is just dreadful. The two of them have no chemistry. There's cringy dialogue, and it's just awkward and weird to watch. And it takes up so much of the film, which really kills the movie, because the stuff with Obi-Wan is just so great, and then it keeps cutting back to these two, and they're just really cringy banter with each other, and just it's really bad. And yeah, that is literally the worst part of Attack of the Clones. So there we go. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. There is so many great moments. It's so hard to pick just one great moment. There's a lot of great moments, but the best moment to me is the opera scene from Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine is with Anakin and he is telling him about his old master, actually, Darth Plagueis the Wise, and it is a phenomenal scene. It's not only just wonderfully acted by Ian McDiarmid and Hayden Christensen, it just has such great atmosphere. It really builds on the lore of the Sith, and just it's also an amazing moment with Palpatine, him manipulating Anakin and thinking that the Sith is the better way to go and how you can save the ones you love. It's an amazing scene. It's only maybe 4 minutes long, but it's just so good. It's one of the most important scenes in the entire film, and one of the most important scenes in all of Star Wars, because this is the moment where Palpatine is now swaying Anakin to the dark side. I love it. It's a great scene, and yeah, one of my favorites. The worst scene in a Revenge of the Sith. This is another tough one, because there's not there's some scenes that kind of go nowhere, but there's not really a scene in Revenge of the Sith that I hate that scene. So the only scene I'm going to go with that it's, I think, a disappointing scene is Obi-Wan versus Grievous. I think this is a very disappointing scene, because I was expecting a really cool fight, because General Grievous has 4 lightsabers, and he's going toe-to-toe with the Jedi Master of Obi-Wan. And the fight doesn't really last long. Obi-Wan very easily cuts his hands off and disarms him very quickly, and then General Grievous runs away, and then he just shoots him. And it's a very underwhelming fight. And this is a movie packed with amazing fight scenes, and just that one to me was very lackluster. So I think to me that's one of the weaker parts of Revenge of the Sith. I had to pick something, so that's what I went with. Next is Clone Wars, the Clone Wars movie, the animated film. I think it's a good movie. I just think it probably shouldn't have been a theatrical released movie, because people are like, what is this cheap looking animation? But anyways, the best part of the movie is Ahsoka Tano. This is the introduction to Ahsoka, who's one of the best characters in the Clone Wars. She's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. She's just such a great character. She's a very likable character. She's a very determined character. And her chemistry with Anakin as this master and Padawan is just instantly great. When the movie starts, it's so good. And yeah, I enjoyed her in the film. And yeah, the worst part is the lightsaber duels in this movie. The show gets a lot better with the lightsaber duels, but in this movie, they last 20 seconds, and they're very sloppily done. So to me, the worst part of the Clone Wars movie is the very mediocre lightsaber fighting. So I was almost going to go with the animation, but the animation kind of grows on you as time passes through. So yeah. All right, next is Solo, a Star Wars story. This is another one that was a very mixed bag movie to me. There's some good stuff in it. The best part is just Darth Maul showing up. I love anything with Darth Maul, and seeing Sam Witwer's voice is just great. They don't really go anywhere with it, because we didn't get a sequel or anything, which it's fine, but just seeing Darth Maul was cool. And him pulling out the lightsaber was pretty sick, and it did get a huge smile on my face when I saw this movie. So yeah, that was pretty cool. The worst part is Lando's stupid droid. This droid does not shut up. This droid is very annoying. There's this weird relationship with Lando with the droid, which is kind of odd. It's like, I don't know where they're going with it. But yeah, the droid was annoying, so was pretty happy to see it die in the middle of the movie. So all right, next is Rogue One. Rogue One. This is a great movie. This is probably the best Disney Star Wars movie, easily hands down. And there's, again, a lot of great moments, but the best moment is Darth Vader scene. It's awesome. We finally get to see Darth Vader really kick some ass, and it's a really intense and scary scene. Like, the moment his lightsaber is, like, laid in the dark, and he's just fucking these Rebel Alliance soldiers up. And it's just amazing. I remember, like, when I was watching this in theaters, I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect this in this movie, but I'm glad I saw it. The worst part of Rogue One is probably Saw Gerrera. Like, I love Forrest Whitaker, so it was a little weird, but, like, Saw Gerrera is just, he's kind of annoying. Like, he's a lot better in the video games, like the Jedi Fallen Order games, and even the not the Clone Wars, the Rebels television show. It's just in this movie, he's just like got this like weird voice, like Jedi, sir. It's just like, it's really distracting. It's a little goofy, and it really just takes me out of the movie every time I see Forrest Whitaker in this role in Rogue One. I don't know, like I could be in the minority on that one, but to me it was just odd. All right. Now we're getting to the original trilogy, the best trilogy, the best movies. We're going to go with A New Hope. A New Hope. The best scene in A New Hope is the opening shot. This is the shot that brought Star Wars to life. But it's such a simple and beautiful shot of this little ship flying by, and then it's getting chased and shot up by this big, massive ship. This is another thing like George Lucas was so good at, was visual storytelling, and it's literally just telling you who the rebels are and who the Empire is, how small and dwindling the Rebel Alliance is, and how big and dominant the Empire is. And it also kind of shows you through just very simple visuals of who's winning the war and who's losing the war. I love it. I think it's just such a simple but amazing and masterful shot. And yeah, it's the opening to the very first Star Wars movie, and it's amazing. The worst, again, this is where it gets tough, because I don't know what the worst thing is, but to me, it's C-3PO. I know a lot of people love him. Anthony Daniels does a bang up job, but to me, he's just not funny. Like, I'm not, like, big on comedic sidekicks. Like, man, R2-D2 is awesome, but C-3PO, to me, in the original trilogy, 3PO is just annoying to me. He's fine. Like, he's not, like, a bad character, but he's definitely the weakest character for me, and he's pretty annoying in the original Star Wars movie, so, yeah, let's go with that. Now, Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, the best Star Wars movie ever made, and this is hard for both best and worst, because there's just so many amazing moments, and there's like very few bad moments, so it's hard to pick. So for the best moment, for me, is the cave scene when Luke is fighting Darth Vader. I think it's one of the most atmospheric moments. I think it's one of the most, again, visual moments, and there's just so much deepness in the scene when Yoda tells Luke not to bring his lightsaber in, but he doesn't listen. It's because, again, he's still naive, and he's still very fearful. And then when Vader comes out and he cuts the head off and sees his own face, it's basically Luke battling the inner darkness within himself. I just think it's a really clever and very profound scene in the movie, and easily probably my favorite part of The Empire Strikes Back, even though there's so many great parts. Like the entire trading of him and Yoda. The worst is, well, this scene. Yeah, I know we didn't know they were related, and they didn't know they were related, but we know now, and it's kind of gross. Alright, now we're talking about the Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi. Best scene, everything with Luke and Vader. Everything in this entire third act of the movie is incredible. Luke trying to persuade Vader coming back into the likeness, and Vader being very conflicted between his son and his master. And we get an amazing Ian McDiarmid. Like, this is when he came into being the Emperor himself of Darth Sidious, and he's fantastic. Taunting Luke and taunting Vader is all so good. The duel between Luke and Vader is fantastic, and then of course Luke dropping his lightsaber and basically denying the Emperor's offer, and the Emperor almost killing Luke, and Vader of course killing the Emperor to save his son and bringing balance to the Force, just like the prophecy said. It is just all done beautifully. It is amazing, and to me, the entire third act with Luke, Vader, and Palpatine is the best thing about any Star Wars movie, period. However, during when that's all happening, the worst thing in Star Wars almost ever is happening, and that is the stupid fucking Ewoks. I hate these things. Stupid bears with spears, for some reason, destroying AT&T walkers and stormtroopers with heavy armor. It is ridiculous. And I know Harrison Ford personally hated them, and I also personally hate them. It would have been a lot cooler if they were on Kashyyyk and we had Wookiees, killing stormtroopers and ripping their arms out of their sockets, but apparently the budget was not big enough for that. And instead we got stupid teddy bears fucking up massive soldiers with laser guns. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. It is literally the only reason Return of the Jedi is not like one of the top tier Star Wars movies, because everything in Return of the Jedi is amazing except those stupid Ewoks on that stupid planet of Endor. But hey, I digress. Some people like them. Alright, now we're getting into the garbage Disney sequel trilogy. Force Awakens, the movie most people say is the best. I think by default is, of course, the best. And the best thing in it is Finn, the character of Finn, played by John Boyega. This should have been the whole focus of the movie, of a stormtrooper not wanting to be a stormtrooper anymore and not want to be part of this new order of empire anymore. And maybe he himself is a Jedi Knight. He runs into a pilot, and it could have been a buddy movie, and then finding Han Solo and then looking for Luke Skywalker. That could have been a great movie right there. But no, he gets nothing in the sequels, even though this movie really builds Finn up to be a very interesting character. He's a very scared character, but then he learns to be more brave and learns to be more of a fighter, and he can wield a lightsaber, maybe not well, but maybe with some training he will. There was a lot of build up to the character of Finn, and that's why I like him the most in Force Awakens. Then they do nothing with him, which is ridiculous. And the worst thing about Force Awakens is the main character, Rey. She is a very uninteresting character. She is I know people hate it, but she is a Mary Sue character. She is a character that just knows how to do everything. She knows how to fly the Millennium Falcon without ever flying anything, ever. She knows how to use the Force. I don't know how she knows how to use the Force. She knows how to do a Jedi mind trick. I have no idea how she knows how to do that. She knows how to wield a lightsaber and beat a Sith Lord in a duel. Absolutely ridiculous. Just everything about seeing Rey in The Force Awakens just didn't give a lot of hope for people. They're like, well, she beat the bad guy at the end. What else are you going to do now? You just already took any intimidation away from the bad side. What makes Empire so good is that Luke loses to Vader. So we want to see that rematch. We don't want to see a rematch between Kylo and Rey because Rey beat him already. Whatever. Anyways, we're getting to the shitfest itself. Last Jedi, one of the worst Star Wars movies ever, directed by the most overrated hack, Rian Johnson. Yes, I know some people really like Rian Johnson. I personally am not a fan. He loves subverting expectations, but he doesn't like subverting a good story. The best part of this movie is probably Yoda. I'm seeing Yoda again. That was pretty cool. Seeing a little puppet Frank Oz Yoda. That was pretty cool, right? It's a very brief scene in him teaching Luke Skywalker the ways of the Jedi. It was a very beautiful scene. Just seeing Yoda again was really cool. The worst scene in this movie, other than almost everything, I always wanted to go with Luke and just his entire character. But I went with Snoke's death because this was just insulting for this new trilogy. Like, destroying Luke as a character is unforgivable, but Snoke, you built him up to be this, like, next bad character. There were so many theories, and basically all the theories about Snoke was more interesting than what you actually did with Snoke. And you built him up as this character who twisted Kylo Ren and made Kylo Ren who he was. And he looked like Plagueis or an offspring of Plagueis. There was just, he had this like deformity to his face. Like, there's so much intrigue with Snoke, and they did nothing with him, and they just kill him in the most bitch way possible. And the fact that he's this all-powerful Sith Lord and he gets tricked like that is just stupid. Just dumb. And the only reason that Rian Johnson killed him is just because people wouldn't see it coming. There was no good reason to do it. He just like, well, they wouldn't see that coming. I'm like, okay. Just because we don't see something coming doesn't mean it's good or clever. Like, that's stupid. And I know, again, Luke Skywalker thing annoys me, but the Snoke one just annoyed me more because you brought in a new character that was actually seemed pretty interesting and intriguing, and you just did nothing with it, and you just killed him off, and then you just left us with this movie, like, what is the point of watching the next film? You just killed the villain in the second movie. Like, what are you doing? You beat the villain in the first movie, and you killed the one in the second movie. What are you doing in the third movie? Oh, I'll get to that. Alright, next is the worst Star Wars movie ever made, The Rise of Skywalker. There is not a lot of good things in this movie. There's barely any good things in this movie. But the only thing I could, like, muster up is seeing Han Solo again and talking to his son, Ben. This was pretty good. It was nice. It was a nice little moment. It's the only thing I can muster up that I actually enjoyed in this movie, but it was a nice moment. The worst, almost the entire film, but the worst for me was bringing Palpatine back. This was ridiculous. Yes, even making Rey related to him is even more ridiculous, but just bringing him back in general was insulting to his character because Anakin beat him. Anakin destroyed the Sith and brought balance to the Force, and you brought him back and just undid all of that in Return of the Jedi. My favorite moments in Return of the Jedi, you basically destroyed just so Rey now, this new character that no one gives a shit about, can now kill Palpatine. Ridiculous. Just the stupidest thing. It was just the most desperate and idiotic thing, and you can tell they didn't even know what to do. Because Rian Johnson fucked everything up. They're like, I don't know what to do. Just bring Palpatine back. Even in the movie, they're like, well, I guess he's back. It's so lazy and ham-fisted, and just shows you just how shitty those sequel trilogy movies are. There we go. Hope y'all enjoyed this. This is the best and worst thing in every Star Wars movie, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think is the best and worst thing in every Star Wars movie? Give me your thoughts, opinions. Comment below. Let me know. Enjoy your Star Wars day. Join the dark side.